Hey everybody, welcome back to Rebootleggers. It's a comedy podcast where me and my friend here take some things and we reboot them with mixed results. I'm your host, Scott Owen.
I'm your other host, Frank Serra.
Frank, does it offend you when I don't call myself a co-host?
I've gotten over it.
So it used to offend you.
Pain is a wind, and the palm bends with the wind.
I thought pain was weakness leaving the body.
That's if you do sports. I never did sports.
Oh, right. That's sports and heavy lifting.
All the pain, all the weakness pain, it's still in my body. And so I have to just lay down until it's done.
Has other pain left your body?
The parts that aren't weakness, yeah.
So the strength pains.
The strength pain it's been gone for years. All the weak pain is still around in there.
Which type of pain is strength?
I'm not really a painologist.
Is that like the quiet crying pain? Is that the strength pain? Like
yeah, sure, yeah.
Stoic
definitely.
Single tear pain, like the internal
Probably,
emotional suffering?
Yeah, all the stuff that really just gets in the nooks and crannies. Hey, speaking of mental anguish.
Oh, I like what you just did.
You like that?
That was a pretty good segue. We're gonna reboot. I know last week we said we weren't gonna do something spooky, but this week we're gonna do a little spooky.
We're gonna do something a little spooky.
I would call it thrilling.
It's more of a psychological thriller than an actual.
I want to say 2000 and something. Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Now,
about a man in a tower.
We're gonna go now. Yeah,
There's a tower. There's a tower in the movie.
Just gonna say up front. Spoiler alert. There will almost definitely be spoilers for this movie.
I think every single show we've ever done has been a spoiler alert. So hopefully by now that's obvious. If there's any new listeners, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So this movie is not what the title suggests. There aren't very many shutters on the island.
Almost none.
Almost no shutters on the island.
It's a shutter of the mind.
Oh.
Yeah, I literally just thought of that.
Ooh. Oh, it's a book. Did you know this?
I didn't know that.
19...
Does the book also have Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, because it's a book.
I don't follow.
So you know how books don't have actors? They're just words that somebody wrote, and there's no pictures in a lot of them. This is not a book with pictures. This book came out in April of 2003, and then the movie came out in 2010. Wow, that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, man,
that's like Hunger Games level of turnaround.
So... All right, so short version, Leonardo DiCaprio is a United States Marshal.
Yeah, he come to Shutter Island to investigate.
Yeah, it's called Shutter Island. It's an insane asylum, and it's like the 50s, right?
I think it's the 50s. Yes, 1954. And so they come to Shutter Island to investigate a missing patient.
And there's mystery around every turn.
Yeah, and she was incarcerated for drowning her 3 kids. And so there's a lot of investigation.
There's a lot of lights.
Yeah, what's the big reveal?
Lights. Yeah, so they do like a Memento ending with it where like he like thinks he like found a conspiracy and then like confronts the like lead psychologist in the institution. And then the lead psychologist is like, "Oh, we got to reset the scenario, everybody," because it turns out that Leonardo DiCaprio is an insane patient on the island. And so they just like let him play detective because it like keeps him calm, and they just like reset the mystery.
But the thing too was that he's crazy, and his wife murdered their kids, and so he was an actual marshal, I think, before he got there, and so he like proposed this experiment where he was like, "Let me investigate and figure this out, and then that should fix me." And so then they let him do that, and then he learns the truth, and then the doctor tells him like, "This was basically our last shot at fixing you, otherwise we're gonna have to lobotomize you." And then DiCaprio basically chooses to pretend like it didn't take so that they'll lobotomize him because he doesn't want to remember
Because
it.
he misses his wife.
He's very upset by the realization. Because his partner, the guy who he thinks is his partner, is actually like his doctor. And so then at the end, his doctor, he like looks over and he calls him Chuck, what he thinks his partner's name is, like intentionally to get them to lobotomize him.
So it's a movie about a broken man.
A broken man.
Once his brain turned off.
Yeah, so how can we reboot this one,
So how
my
can we
dude?
Okay, so I like people tricking themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of kind of this deep immersion scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I only had one idea going into this. Maybe it's not even what we go with, but it's all I got right now.
Oh, hey, it's not called Shutter Island. Oh, the island is called Shutter Island. The asylum is called Ashcliff Hospital. Fun fact for you detail nerds out there.
We're getting a lot of tweets about that.
A lot of tweets already on this episode. I'm getting a lot of tweets about it.
Here's what I had, and I'm going to have... There's some setup, so I'm going to need you to bear with me. So it's Stutter Island. Hold up. And it's like a speech therapy camp.
Oh my god.
Where people need to... It's a public speaking / speech therapy kind of... think of it like Lord of the Flies, but you have to be a good public speaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, like, the talk monster is going to get you. Because he's a serial killer that's on the island, and he kills people that stutter, right?
He kills people that stutter.
Kids go to the island that stutter, and their parents like fat camp.
It's children. Oh, geez. So it's like a summer camp.
Whoever. I mean, there's a section for children. There's a section for adults, right? So it's fat camp for public speaking, and a guy will kill you if you're not good at it, right? Because there's nothing like life or death to really just suck, like get the pressure in.
Will he actually kill you? Is this the thing that they've actually set up?
Well, I think he actually kills a person.
It was supposed to just be like a education technique, but then someone actually started killing.
I think they like find a person's body, and then like on the blood, it's like this kid stuttered, but maybe that's whole fake, and that's just part of the production.
Okay.
Or he actually kills a guy just like by accident, right? Like
it sounds a little bit like The Village here.
Oh man, they know that they're being sent to fat camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like they know it's supposed to be fake, and then it turns out it's real.
I feel like the kids have to think the stutter killer is real, otherwise the technique, the process doesn't work.
The teens these days, they don't. It's all. They're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, my parents are rich. They're not going to kill me. And then they find a dead kid, and they're like, oh, shit.
I thought maybe the kids show up thinking they're just going to a normal stutter camp, and then the doctors, like, stage a fake murder on, like, the third day, and they leave notes that's like, anyone who stutters getting murdered.
God, you gotta give a speech. You gotta give a 3-minute prepared monologue. Like, everyone go.
Yeah, and they, like, fake that all communication's been cut off.
Yeah,
and the boat's been stolen.
They all have cell phones.
They obviously confiscate all the teens' phones upon arrival.
And everyone gets like a bracelet.
Mm-hmm. And what's the bracelet do? Is it like a
it's
Livestrong bracelet?
Yeah, like if you have the bracelet, you can like go get food and stuff. Like
Is it electronic in any way? Is it a tracker?
No, I mean it's got like an ID tag or something on it, probably.
So it's just like a hospital bracelet.
Like a hospital bracelet, yeah.
Okay, and so do we have... Oh, shit, Frank.
Yeah.
Do we have a child detective show up to investigate?
No, we have a child detective.
That brings us to my next question, Frank. Do we bring the child detective team up? What did we call them?
Part 3?
Do we bring them in?
Okay, yeah. So this is Kid Detective Team Up Part 3.
Kid Detective Roundup. That's right. What's the team name? I feel like we came up with a team name. Hang on, I gotta hit the archives real quick.
You probably did come up with a team.
Just let me hit the archives, Frank. Let me hit the archives. Just cool it. Jeez. We call them Teenage Fun. FUN. Does anybody know what we? I don't remember what FUN stood for.
Me neither. Fun.
Hey, if you remember what FUN stands for, please
tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
I have no idea.
All right, so we
came up with something.
We've got Nancy Drew, Encyclopedia Brown, and those Hardy boys, Frank and Scott Hardy, who are very good boys that everyone loves.
Who are very good boys that everyone loves, and they have a lot of friends.
They have a lot of friends, and they're very good looking.
All right, so they all begin to feign stutters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. Mm-hmm. Well, they read about the Stutter Island killer in the news.
Mm-hmm.
No, because then the camp will get shut down.
Yeah. No,
one of their friends.
They're contacted discreetly by a staff member.
Yes.
They're like, hey,
they call up the Hardy Boys tour bus.
Please don't. Or I forgot about the Hardy Boys tour bus. The Hardy Boys are just playing a benefit concert at the island for the patients, and then murders start happening.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, so they drive their bus to Stutter Island. Mm-hmm. It's just called Stutter Island. It's not an island.
Yeah, they just call it Stutter Island. It's actually called. It's like a compound. It's still called Ashcliff. It's still called Ashcliff Hospital for the linguistically
and it's not a literal
impaired.
Island because they can drive the tour bus there.
Yeah, I think they call it that because
no, it is a literal island. They take the ferry.
They put their tour bus on a ferry. They take their tour boat. Obviously, the Hardy Boys have a tour boat.
Oh yeah, they just changed their tour boat then,
the tour boat is the aquatic headquarters. So did we establish that all of the Hardy Boys tour vehicles are the mobile headquarters for this detective agency?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's still the case.
Yeah, so they show up, and I think what happens is like I want to get some spread, right? So like the Hardy Boys are
good.
I'm not sure what they want to do. Encyclopedia Brown definitely feigns the stutter to get in as a patient.
Yeah,
Nancy
for sure.
Drew, I think, starts working for the staff. She gets a job.
Mm-hmm. She gets a job as a
now,
doctor.
the problem with our good Hardy Boys, Frank and Scott Hardy, is that they're famous and everyone knows them and everyone loves them. So
they're just there as performers, you know.
I don't know if they can go incognitus, right?
What kind of music did they play? Are they DJs?
They are DJs.
They're celebrity DJs. And they don't ever get sick. They're very hardy. That's right.
Yeah, they're really healthy.
God, this is one of our best reboots ever. Yeah, okay, so Stutter Island.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a tropical themed like summer camp?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's like you gotta lay.
Yeah, and you get drinks and coconuts, but it's just like chocolate milk and stuff because
like,
you're a child.
There's no electricity, it's all tiki torches.
A lot of torches. Huts and yurts.
Yeah, yurts.
Grass skirts.
Yurts and girts. A lot of yogurt.
Yurts, girts, and grass skirts. That's on the brochure.
That's on the brochure, although not a ton of girts.
They give them yogurt for lunch.
Yeah, can you think we can get a deal with Go-Gurt and just have?
I was just about to say that. I was literally just about to ask if we could get Go-Gurt involved in this.
Yeah, I think that Go-Gurt's primed and ready to come back.
You know, when you're on the go between speech therapy sessions, you can't expect to.
Yeah, and it helps working the Go-Gurt tube. It's kind of like a tongue exercise as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, it limbers up.
Ooh,
like it's part of their therapy, right? It's like I'm assigning you 1 Valium, 2 Go-Gurts.
Yeah. Okay, so this is not the Puzzler, is it? This is a new villain.
this is a new guy. One who's maybe heard of the what are they called?
The Puzzler?
No, the group, the Fun.
Teenage Fun.
Teenage Fun.
Here's my other question though. Are they going to call the old Detective Roundup?
I think they're going to, but when they get to Stutter Island, none of their cell phones work. Because here's what happens, is they scout, right? And they decide whether or not there's a mystery to be had.
Mm-hmm.
They go, oh, there's an actual body, and there's a Stutterman killer. And then one of them pulls out their sat phone and goes, calling olds.
So I was thinking maybe one of the olds accompanies them and is posing as a doctor.
Now, who was on the team of olds? Just to remind.
You've got Angela Lansbury from Murder, She Wrote. You have Ben Matlock from Matlock. You have Dr. Mark Sloan from Diagnosis Murder. And then you have Magnum PI.
Okay, well that answers it, because it's got to be Dr. Sloan, right?
Yeah, Dr. Sloan.
He's already a doctor.
So he shows up,
diagnosis, and he asked it at some. So he turns to the kid detectives, right? When they say like, "Was this a murder?" He turns to the detective kids and he goes, "My diagnosis."
Yes.
Glasses down. It's murder.
Was it? I think in our original old roundup, Dr. Mark Sloan was always looking for that good bud, that sweet kind.
I think he was very much into the medicinal. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's prescribing marijuana left and right for these stutters.
Crazy. And maybe it's a little bit controversial, but guess what? It's loosening up these kids.
Yeah. He shows up and he's like, I mean, I know I was called in here to like investigate this murder, but I'm gonna do some doctoring. I'm gonna do some doctoring while I'm here.
I'm gonna help the kids.
Help the kids.
Get that blueberry yum yum.
So the Hardy Boys are called in. They're gonna play the end of Camp Luau.
Mm-hmm.
And
the end of Camp Luau, or the beginning of Camp Luau?
Both. They're there for the whole session.
The whole session, right?
Yeah. So they'll be playing shows in between the end and beginning of Camp Luau as well. Mm-hmm. And so then murder happens. Are we going to get Mark Ruffalo and Leonardo DiCaprio back in this for Stutter Island? And Ben Kingsley as well.
Yeah, big cast, man. All right, I mean, so Ben Kingsley is called the Chameleon, right? So I think that he would be a very good Stutterman killer.
He's called the Chameleon?
I call him the Chameleon.
That's a very cool nickname to have as an actor. Also, a Spider-Man villain. Also, we haven't seen the Chameleon in a Spider-Man movie yet. I just thought of that'd be super cool to do with Tom Holland. Ooh. Anyway. Okay.
So he's the Stutterman killer.
Yeah, Stutterman
I've been
killer.
saying Stutterman killer. Is that what we want him to be?
Yeah, we'll call him the Stutterman killer.
The Stutterman killer?
Stutterman. Some people call him Stutterman. Some people call him
And his
Stutterman.
real name is just like Jonathan Stutterman. Because then, because he's gonna be he works at the camp, right? So he was like, "Hi, I'm Jonathan Stutterman."
Hello, I'm Jonathan Stutterman, founder of the camp Stutter
And then
Island.
It turns out he's the Stutterman killer.
He just loses it because he cannot he founded the camp.
Does he stutter?
Oh, maybe he stutters.
Can Jonathan Stutterman? Was he the only person the camp couldn't heal?
Maybe.
And now it's like bad.
Now it's revenge.
And he's like, nice to meet you.
So here's what it is. He maybe doesn't have his stutter anymore, but he used to, and he was so incredibly made fun of and bullied and even mistreated by his parents because of his stutter. Like, you need to fix this. You are of the devil's tongue.
Yes. So what he does, he thinks that what he's doing is a mercy, because when he kills kids that he thinks are lost causes that will never stop stuttering.
Yeah, are you developing a stutter here on this episode, buddy?
No, he's not gonna get me. You can't scare me.
Okay, good.
But that's what it's a mercy, right?
Yeah, so I think he founds the school initially as I think he should found it as initially.
He didn't have good therapy. They just did old school. They just beat him with canes until he didn't stutter.
And so I think he founds it as a general,
therapy,
as
right?
a genuine philanthropic. I want to do better by kids who have stutters than what was done to me. But then something happens to him and he snaps and he's like
12 years later or something, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of successful things, and then there's a kid. His camp term is up, but he's still stuttering.
And now the camp must be purged.
And now he remembers his lessons as a child, right? And he picks up that cane and he hits the kid. But it's an accident, right? And the kid goes no, and he falls down. But when he's falling down, he hits his forehead on the desk, and he's dead. And then he's like, "What have I done?" And then he says "No, it's cool, because now that filthy stutterer, he's not going to be back in the world, poisoning everyone else."
Poisoning
with the stutter.
Yes. Okay.
Because it infects people.
So kids with stutters they're trying to work extra hard. Does he? Oh, here's how we get the lying to the crazy angle again. Stutterman calls the detectives in because he don't know he doesn't know he's doing the killings.
We're doing a classic split mind scenario.
Split mind scenario. You've got Stutterman and Stutterman.
And Stutterman, killer.
Do you think the kids hear him stuttering in the bushes when he comes for them? He's like, tss, tss, tss. Very creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of fear signal, right?
Mm-hmm. They hear the stutter and they're like, "Who's that? Who stutter?" And dead.
Because they're stuttering too.
And then dead.
And then just whee!
We got a bit of
Yeah, I think
Psycho in there.
Is that like copyrighted? Do you think? Like, does Alfred Hitchcock own that?
I don't know.
If he does, we'll figure out something else. But it's working, so.
Yeah. Okay. So
then they call in the kids, right?
So they call in the kids. So do they call Dr. Mark Sloan first? And he's like, "Oh, we need the kids."
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotta
so
get those boys.
He calls in those
And
Hardy
girl.
Boys to play a benefit concert, and he's like, "This isn't the real reason I called you here, but you will be paid."
But they spin the disc good because they're really popular and they have like tons of friends.
Yeah, like, we're still gonna pay you for the show, and you're good. You're very good at music and everything that you do, Hardy Boys. And they're like, well, we're gonna also bring along our very good friends because we're very good friends and we're considerate, and so we're gonna bring our friends who are also good at this
and like love us and like we love and like they're like and like we're so cool.
right. So they bring Nancy and Encyclopedia along. What's Encyclopedia's real name?
Did we? I was gonna say, did we give him a name?
I think he has a real name.
Like he has a real name. It's like Teddy or something, right?
Leroy Brown.
Really?
Yeah, his name's Leroy.
Is that his actual?
That's a pretty good name, Leroy.
Is the song? The books are older than the song, but
I don't know that song, but I'm pretty sure we had this
Jim Croce
exact
song?
I'm pretty sure we had this exact conversation on the
I
first
can all but
episode.
guarantee we did.
All right, so Leroy and Nancy do come along. Nancy's like the tech wizard. She's very good at most things.
Yeah. So she immediately gets a job in like some kind of department.
Sheets like
I was trying to think of a job that would give her access to the Computron systems that
oh
they
yeah,
have.
she's in there like maybe she's
She just gets hired by IT.
yeah, hired by IT. She's in there on
Yeah.
IT. You gotta have IT. All the doctors are using tablets and stuff now. You know, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta have
yeah.
an IT department.
On the private network that has no outside internet connection,
well, yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
And then we got Leroy. He enters. He feigns his stutter,
Yes,
and he gets in
Leroy's-
as a patient.
yes.
Leroy.
And the Hardy Boys. Here's the thing: when the Hardy Boys DJ, do they spin the discs to make it sound like stuttering? You know how
Like
a lot
the
of time
music
when
is
you
stuttering?
where it's like Rick remix.
Yeah.
Like, do they?
I
do
think
that?
that is
Does
a little bit. That might be a little bit insensitive to the patients, but
Yeah.
I think that they might do it.
The Hardy Boys are never insensitive, though.
Yeah, I know they're super great, and they have like, a lot of friends. Yeah, I think they don't.
So who does? What is Encyclopedia Brown's buddy named?
Fangs.
Fangs. Does he bring Fangs along?
He brings Fangs along. Defos.
So they're two stutter boys.
Because they need to get a good sample size.
Yeah, they go through. I mean, how much of this plot do we need to flesh out? I think we got a good bit. We
Yeah, I
got
think
we
we
have
got
an
a pretty good
excellent
chunk.
reboot premise.
Yeah, so they definitely get in, and then they find out. So like something happens, right? I think maybe the Stutterman killer goes for Fangs, and they like barely escape with their lives.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they saw that it was Dr. Stutterman. And so
Oh.
now the movie kind of pivots, right, into getting Dr. Stutterman to realize that he is a Stutterman killer.
Yeah, that'll happen like halfway through. So a couple kids have already died, and they're like, "Who is doing this?" And Dr. Stutterman's like, "We really have to put a stop to this." And they're like, "Dr. Stutterman, it was you?" And he's like,
It was you, though.
Oh, I just wanged my microphone. And he's like, "No, it wasn't." And they're like, "But look, we
Like,
have
dude,
footage."
it was. We have flip cell phone footage.
And then the Stutterman killer like fully takes over, and he's like, "You'll never catch me."
Yeah.
And then Dr. Mark Sloan is just token up.
Oh, he's ripping clouds. He's not actually a part of the plot of this movie.
Yeah, he's just like, you cut to him in the main administration office, and he's just like puff passing with the
And,
staff.
yeah, just fat cotton pools.
Yep, just
I know all about
those
that.
big cumulative. I think it's all vaping, is what you're
I
describing.
think these are all vaping.
You're describing
terms, but
vaping.
I think it applies.
He'll vape. Yeah, he'll totally vape.
Yeah, he definitely rips vape clouds. Vape niche.
Yeah. So then they have to chase him around Shutter Island. Do they like seal the gates to not let him out? They have to, right? They're gonna
Oh, they
seal the Shutter
definitely
Island.
seal the gates, right?
And they've got
And
like
then
20-foot wall.
They
walls.
all just start public speaking, and none of them are stuttering.
Nobody stutters.
Yeah,
They
I'm
fix
thinking
everybody.
it's like a it's like an "Oh Captain, My Captain" thing. Like what's that movie with Robert? Help me.
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, it's like that where they all recite a monologue.
And they're like, hey, man, you don't have to do this. None of us are stuttering anymore. And then he gets sent to Big People Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he gets sent to Shut with an H.
Yeah,
and then
Shutter
at the end,
Island.
Leonardo DiCaprio like meets him like there, and he says like, "Hi, I'm Teddy," and then he says, "John Snutterman.
I'll be your roommate." But it's got to be a very old Leonardo DiCaprio since that took place in the 50s.
Yeah, like stupid old.
Like
he has one of those canes where it branches out and it's like a 4-footed cane.
He's a very, very,
Like
very old man. I think
He's that
like,
old.
Yeah, he's gonna be like in his 90s.
Yeah, and he's gonna say like, "Hi, I'm Ted."
Hey, I'm Teddy
At this point, we might as
Daniels.
well just not have it be Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
No, it's gonna be him in a ton of makeup.
He's worth it.
He's absolutely worth it. Or we just do old people CG on him. I don't know which we want.
Oh, like the opposite of what they did to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, or they did young people. It's like what they did to Haley Atwell in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and just like so old. Ugh.
So old.
And then they catch him, and then he goes to the crazy place. But more importantly, none of the kids in the camp stutter anymore.
None of those kids in the camp are stutter boys.
But here's the thing, is that it's all because of the medicinal.
Do they keep the
Yeah, it turns out that doing a marijuana one time just fixed all of them.
So they keep the camp open. Dr. Mark Sloan relocates and becomes the dean. What's the head doctor of a hospital? The chief of medicine.
I think Dean is good.
Yeah, and now it's Stutter College.
Headmaster?
Headmaster Sloan.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then I guess they relocate to like off the coast of California.
Mm-hmm.
They just pick up the island and move it probably.
Yeah, they just pick up the island and put it in the ocean? Put it in upstate New York?
And like it's now technically in California, so they can all just rip it.
Is California legalized it finally?
Did they not?
I don't know. I don't know. I know
In the movie, it's been a couple of years, and they have.
Good. In the movie, it's legal across the nation.
Oh, Toke Nation, yeah.
Toke Nation. I mean, I'm pretty sure other nations have beaten us
I think
to
the
it.
threat of this kind of got away from us, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it too, because here's the thing. We're all about... I know this is a little bit spooky, but we made it less spooky. Mm-hmm. It's better. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I think this might end up being a mini.
I mean, we've been going for a full 30, so it's it's not that much shorter. But okay, well,
It's a max mini.
Yeah, let's cut it, print it, ship it, and put it in a pizza pouch. Thank you everybody for listening. And if you like the show, please take a second and review us on iTunes. It really, really helps us out. And please tell your friends about it. We'd love to have you, and send us a tweet about what you want to get rebooted or how you think Shutter Island could have been rebooted. You can send us a tweet at Rebootleggers. Until next time, I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sarah.
And Frank, what's our password for next week?
It's gonna be enunciate.